In the meantime, the road from Kadewala to Battaramulla, which was closed due to the floods, was reopened for traffic this morning. In the north, the Road Development Department began repair work on the Vattuakka bridge in Nilthiv, which was damaged by floodwaters. Meanwhile, essential services are grappling with disruptions. The chairman of the Kundasali Pradesh Sabha reported that residents in Kundasali and Thildiniya are facing a drinking water crisis after water sources supplying the areas were damaged. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board stated that 156 of its 343 water pumping stations suffered partial or complete damage due to the bad weather, but 126 of these have already been restored. Regarding communication, Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Iranga Veeraratna expressed confidence that collapsed telephone and internet communication networks will be fully restored by tomorrow. The Public Health Inspectors Union is warning of a potential surge in infectious diseases meanwhile in the coming period as floodwaters recede. PHI Union Secretary Chamil Muthukura specifically emphasised the critical need to focus on dengue, chikungunya and leptospirosis, also known as rat fever. Specialists are urging caution, particularly in crowded relief centres. Dr. Sanath Akmimana, the president of the College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, stressed the necessity of paying special attention to the health of children residing in these centres. In the meantime, a minute of silence was observed in Parliament today as a tribute to those who lost their lives due to the adverse weather conditions that affected the island. This was done following a request by Chief Opposition Whip Gayantha Karnatilaka. Furthermore, Opposition Leader Sajith Premadasa urged the government to declare a national day of mourning, considering the prevailing circumstances. Opposition member Mujibur Rahman also requested the Speaker to appoint a select committee in Parliament to investigate the government's inability to mitigate the current major disaster situation. Member of Parliament Anuradha Jayaratna also expressed his views on the lack of adequate response to the disaster. In the interest of clarity, we have left their remarks undubbed.
ආනිය හාවම කරගන්න පුළුවන් සැලැස්මක් ආණ්ඩුවට තිබුණා. එහෙම සැලැස්මක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඒ හින්දා තමයි දැන් අපිට හොයන්න වෙලා තිබෙනවා. එහෙම කොහමද උනේ? එහෙම නැත්නම් නිලධාරීන් ආණ්ඩුවට කිව්වේ නැද්ද? නිලධාරීන් කියලා රජයේ ක්‍රියාත්මක උනේ නැද්ද කියන එක හොයන්න මම යෝජනා කරනවා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ගරු කතානායකතුමනි තේරීම් කාරක සභාවක් පත් කරා. තේරීම් කාරක සභාවක් පත් කරලා කොහෙන්ද මේ වරද සිද්ධ උනේ කියන එක හොයන්න. මොකද අපිට මේක වැදගත් වෙනවා අනාගතයේදීත් මෙවැනි දේවල් නොවෙන්න අපිට කරුණු කාරණා එළිදරව් කිරීම වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඊයේ දිනේ යනකොට මාමතුරේ ගෙවල් 15ක් සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ගහගෙන ගිහිල්ලා මිනි 40 ගානකට වැඩිය තියෙනවා ඒ ඉඩම ඇතුලේ. එක JCB එකක් මැෂිමක් කාන්දුවෙන් අද වෙනකල් යනවා මේ මං කතා කරන මොහොත වෙනකොටත් නෑ. මිනිස්සු තමුන්ගේ මුදල් එකතු කරලා JCB එකක් රෙන්ට් එකට ගෙනල්ලා තෙල් ටික තමුන් ගෙනල්ලා එහෙම ගෙනල්ලා මිනි ටික කොට ගන්න. මොකක්ද ආණ්ඩුවේ වැඩපිළිවෙල? නුවරඑළිය පාර රටේ තියෙන ප්‍රධානම මාර්ගය. අද වෙනකොට පාර දෙකෙන් මාර්ගය අරගන්න බෑ නුවරට යන ප්‍රධාන මාර්ගය. අටභාගයෙන් දුරුකේවලට යන ප්‍රධාන මාර්ගය. අද වෙනකල් ඩයලයිසිස් කරන ලෙඩ්ඩු ටික ඉන්නවා. ලෙඩ්ඩු ටික පල්ලෙහාට ගේන්න බෑ. RD එකෙන් PRD එකෙන් මැෂින් එකක් යවලා නෑ. මේකට තමයි පළවෙනිද කිව්වේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කතා කරලා දන්න ටික හරි කියලා වැඩපිළිවෙලක් හදපු කියලා. අඩුම ගානේ මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල හදන්න අපේ වචන ටික කියන්න අවස්ථාව ලබා දුන්නේ නැහැ. අපි අහනවා කවදාද මේ කාරණාව පිළිබඳ සියලු දෙනා දැනගෙන හිටියා. සියලු දෙනා දන්නවා මේ සුළි කුණාටුවක් එනවයි කියලා. මේක දැනගෙන තියෙද්දි ඩිසාස්ටර් මැනේජ්මන්ට් එක අවසාන වශයෙන් රැස්ුනේ කවදාද? ඩිසාස්ටර් මැනේජ්මන්ට් එක දිශාපත්වව ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්වරුන්ට මේක දැනුවත් කරේ කවදාද? නගර සභා ප්‍රාදේශ සභා ඉන්න කණ්ඩායම් කවදාද දැනුවත් කරේ? ඒ කිසිම කෙනෙක් නියෝජක කතානායකතුමනි දැනුවත් කළා නැහැ. ඒක තමයි මේ අහිංසක මිනිස්සු ටික මේ විදිහට මැරෙන්න සිද්ධ වුනේ.
In the meantime, it was announced that an emergency cabinet meeting will be held at 5 p.m. today at the Presidential Secretariat. The total damage caused by the adverse weather in the country is estimated to be between $6 and $7 billion. That's according to the Commissioner General of Essential Services, Prabhat Chandrakirti. Speaking to the media, he stated that this amount represents between 3 and 5% of the gross national product. In the meantime, an investigation was initiated after a video circulated widely on social media depicting a disturbing incident in the Colombo area where a young volunteer who brought boats from Balapitiya to assist flood victims was allegedly assaulted during an attempt to steal his boat. Police media spokesperson, Assistant Superintendent of Police, F.U. Wutla, confirmed that while no official complaint was lodged at the Athragiriya, Malabe or Homagama police stations, police initiated an investigation into the incident. The Indian Air Force deployed C-17 Globemaster aircraft to airlift a parafield hospital from Agra to Colombo as part of ongoing disaster relief operations in Sri Lanka. The aircraft carried critical medical equipment along with 73 trained medical personnel, ready to provide emergency healthcare services, including surgical procedures, trauma care, and life-saving interventions in the areas affected by Cyclone Ditwa. IAF Mi-17 helicopters were actively supporting operations, airlifting over 8 tons of relief supplies and evacuating 65 survivors. Meanwhile, India's High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, gave us a breakdown on what aid Sri Lanka can expect from its closest neighbour over the coming days. He made these comments during an exclusive interview on the programme The Exchange of Hero News.
We are, as I speak, a plane is taking off from India, C-17, that will bring a field hospital that will cater to 70 personnel on board. It will be set up at a place that Sri Lanka decides to locate it to cater to the medical emergency. Then we had, on the specific request of the President yesterday to the Prime Minister, sending 10 Bailey bridges. We will have the engineering cadres along with it to help with restoring bridges, 15 fast rescue boats with outboard motors, 10 logistics and surveillance drones, 6 satellite phones and 500 water purifiers with 20-litre capacity each. This is today, and tomorrow we will have these supplies. Subsequent to that, we are expecting another flight somewhere down the line, which will be with regard to another installment of food and other things that might be necessary.
Four aircraft belonging to the United Arab Emirates arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday, carrying aid for the people affected by the Ditwa cyclone. The second UAE aircraft arrived around 2 p.m. yesterday, carrying drinking water, tents, cooking utensils, and sanitary materials. A third aid flight transported boats, amphibious trucks, four-wheel drive cabs, and V8 jeeps used in the Abu Dhabi Civil Defence Forces, and a fourth UAE aircraft arrived at 9:20 p.m. yesterday, bringing 53 specially trained personnel from the Abu Dhabi Civil Defence Force for rescue operations, along with trained sniffer dogs and operational vehicles. Apple CEO Tim Cook expressed the company's concern for those impacted by severe storms across Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. He announced that Apple will contribute to relief and rebuilding efforts to support affected communities in their recovery. The Hero Media Network, which steps forward during any moment of national crisis, continued its relief operation, the Ratavanuin Hiru Sahayatra, for the 5th consecutive day today, dedicated to assisting the affected population. The mission scaled up its efforts by distributing aid via air to areas in the Mathale, Gompala and Negumbo areas that are inaccessible by land due to flooding. The mission continues to utilize specially adapted vehicles to reach areas that are otherwise cut off, ensuring aid reaches the most difficult locations. The operation is implemented under the concept of Chairman of the Hero Media Network, Reina Silva.
Now for some news in brief.
The Colombo Fort Magistrate issued a warrant for former Minister Vimal Veeramansa after he failed to appear before the court. Thambi Mudakar Mohammed Tahir of the All Ceylon Knuckle Congress was gazetted as the SJB National List MP, filling the vacancy caused by the resignation of Mohammed Ismail Mutlu Mohammed.
The business news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority Chairman Buddha Gahila called on the private sector, investors and global partners to focus on encouraging tourism rather than just post-cyclone aid. Speaking at the Sri Lanka Economic Summit, he said tourism is the fastest way to revive the economy, with hotels, operators and communities ready to welcome visitors. Hivavasan reassured that the tourism sector has largely recovered following last week's severe cyclone. He noted that all tourists were safely evacuated and operations resumed on the 1st of December. Highlighting resilience, he noted that 2,800 passengers arrived on a TUI-operated cruise ship, signalling global confidence in Sri Lanka's recovery. He also confirmed that all major tourist sites, including beaches, cultural landmarks and wildlife parks, are now open.
International news on Gold FM.
5 hours of talks in Moscow between Russian President Vladimir Putin and the US negotiating team, which included Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, failed to yield a breakthrough on a Ukraine peace deal. The meeting followed a fresh warning from Putin that if Europe wants to go to war, Russia is ready, as he accused European allies of obstructing the US-led peace efforts.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Full House actor Dave Coulier, best known as Uncle Joey, announced he was diagnosed with tongue cancer 7 months after he was declared cancer-free from non-Hodgkin lymphoma. He said that the new diagnosis is unrelated to his previous cancer and carries a 90% curability rate.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka Rugby announced the postponement of the 4th weekend of the Interclub Rugby League tournament, citing the current national situation. The postponed matches are now scheduled to take place before the Super Round. SLR previously postponed the 3rd weekend of matches due to the adverse weather, which they now plan to hold during the upcoming Christmas holiday period. That's it for now. This is Dulya De Silva for Gold FM. Stay tuned for more.